morning to you. Welcome to another episode here on Generation X Tech. I've had the car for about 6 weeks now. Still very pleased with it. Got just under 1,500 miles on it in that time. No problems so far, which is great. So I'm going to take the opportunity to take a look at the real world NPG, because you get all these quoted figures, and although they're a lot better now than they were, I think they're still not necessarily realistic. So what I'm going to do on 2 separate days is I'm going to take the MPG readings with a cold start, which makes a big difference, on my journey to work. One, driving normally, using the normal suspension mode and driving mode and everything with the predictive cruise control, and one using the economy mode. So we're doing it during half term, so the traffic's quieter, so we're not going to be stop-starting traffic jams, and it should give us the figures that you expect on a general run to work. Now mine's a fairly rural commute up the A605 to Peterborough. It's not a city run, and it's about 20 miles. So as the engine's cold, just starting to warm up now. We're doing 21 miles per gallon so far, so now things are starting to warm up. Hopefully that should improve just a tad. So while we're on the way, let's talk about the differences that I found between my old car, which is a 2016 L&K model, to this one, 2020 L&K. It's a facelift, so there are a fair few differences, as you'd expect. The big things we've already talked about, particularly the virtual cockpit and also the predictive cruise control. Excuse the sun, by the way. This is one of the a few bright mornings we've had this year. So those things we've already talked about. The 7-speed gearbox, the DSG, it was a 6-speed before, so that's a change. And also the full matrix LED headlights. They are absolutely fantastic. They're so good, in fact, that I don't actually like to flash people now to say thank you. Not that I should be doing that anyway, but everybody does. So if somebody lets me out, I flash main beams at them to say thank you. It's basically like punching them in the face for letting me through. So I tend to flash the front fog lights at them instead now, just as an acknowledgement. Believe me, you don't want to be blared with main beam with these things. There's also a few things fitted as standard which weren't on the last model. The reversing camera is now standard. I had to spec that on the last one. And also the heated steering wheel and ventilated seats. Those are all standard. Then there are the smaller things, like the little plastic things in the boot to stop things from moving around. I had a Hyundai i40 with those, and they were very useful. Very, very basic, just little plastic strips, but amazingly how useful they are. Just got Velcro on the bottom, they stick to the carpet. Then you've got the animated indicators, and of course the whole thing looks slightly different. But by and large, things are mostly the same, which isn't a bad thing. Personally, I think if the government hadn't decided that diesel was a horrible, dirty fuel and they were introducing bans of diesel cars in cities over the coming years, I think I probably would have stuck with the diesel. It's more economical, and the latest diesels are pretty clean anyway. But for now, I've gone with the petrol. There is now a plug-in hybrid. I'm not entirely sold on that yet, the Superb IV. For a start, you've got 2 engines, so that's more to go wrong. My dad found that with his Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid. It broke down a couple of weeks ago. The auxiliary battery failed. And you've still got the cost of servicing an internal combustion engine. So what I'm going to do is wait until we've got a fully electric version in a few years' time. Maybe my next car might be fully electric. For now, I don't think I'm going to go down the plug-in hybrid route, especially as the government are now looking at banning the sale of all fossil fuel powered cars, including hybrids, within the next 15 years. So just approaching Peterborough now in the usual queue for the A1 roundabout. 44 miles per gallon. See if that makes any difference in the short journey to work from now on. It's just over half a mile. Whoa. Alright, get the message. I got a little bit too close to that post behind me. So the car goes, you better stop. So it did. Right. Okay, so just arrived at work then. And we've got 43.1 miles per gallon altogether. Isn't it absolutely amazing how that final half mile of stop-start traffic took a mile per gallon off the average consumption over 20 miles. So 43.1 then is what we've got to beat when we do the same thing tomorrow in economy mode.